This video is sponsored by DNS Consulting.
Hi everyone. Karnataka State Chartered Accountants Association is coming out with a very beautiful series. A series where we will be inspired to evolve. And this is going to be a series of chartered accountants, our seniors, our mentors, whom we are going to meet. We are going to take up the journey of their practice, the journey of how they went through the CA, and also take a lot of takeaways for all of us to do it. Have we all been waiting for this wonderful series? In the company of legends, this is what we are trying to get to you all, where you're going to meet your legends, you're going to know the journey, and you're going to learn from them. And ultimately, it's going to be inspired to be evolved. I welcome you all to this wonderful series of In the Company of Legends. Know your legends, understand your legends, and be inspired by your legends. Thank you. Welcome to each of you. Welcome, Padam bhai, to this wonderful session, and we know that we are going to learn a lot from you. With me, we have Mr. Padamchand 𝐏𝐏 a leading chartered accountant from Bangalore, a super specialist on direct taxes, and welcome to the show on behalf of the Karnataka State Chartered Accountants Association, sir.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thanks for this privilege given to me. If I look back and find out that you are having this program designed for professionals, then my recollection and my thought is that there are many more chartered accountants who are worthy of being the first in the line. Rightly or wrongly, you've chosen me. I tried to wriggle away from this credit, but then you have forced me into this matter. And thank you for this privilege. And I feel very honored. Actually, technically, I feel very honored to say that I'm a part of this entire new program you're designing for the purpose of recording for posterity's sake some statements or from experiences of chartered accountants, such that tomorrow somebody can, I'm not saying everybody, somebody at least can get some inspiration, can get some learnings, can get some thought process which will motivate them to do well in life. So thanks for that privilege at least given to me, and wonderful being with you in this evening today.
Thank you very much, sir. And not just being your student, but being your mentee as well as, and you have always been a benchmark for us to say that where we have to go in life as a professional was always that me and my ex-partner Anish always looked out that we should be like Padam bhai. So today we have the opportunity of trying to give back to the society of what exactly I have got from you. And this is one of the reasons that I requested KSCAA whether I could take this first session from you, start off with you, so that it's more comfortable also being your student about it. So the first question that I would love to know about you is that you belong to a family of chartered accountants. I think the fourth generation of chartered accountants is there in your firm today, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, fourth generation has already joined us today.
Already joined.
Yeah.
So in this four generations, you have been, and one of the, I think your father was a member before the C Institute thing had come in.
Yes, he was a chartered accountant. He used to call a registered accountant at that time, prior to the independence, prior to the institute being formed. And he was a registered accountant under the law, then regulations then existing. And when the CA Institute was formed, then these people who were registered accountants were then called as chartered accountant. They were given the numbers immediately on the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India coming into.
So your dad should have been in the first 100 of the CA.
No, his number was 1224.
1224.
1224. His registration number was 1224.
So he was and probably from the Bangalore, there would have been how many at that time, sir?
He did his CA from Bangalore. So that means there were some people already in Bangalore who were chartered accountants.
Like
Mandre and Company. He did his articles under Mandre and Company. Ramdhyani and Company was here. Therefore, there were some chartered accountants
who were already existing.
Okay. But there were very few. Bangalore was not a commercial entity at that point of time. And to have a chartered accountant in a thriving community was a rarity at that point of time. And he therefore came here and did his articles with Mandre and Company.
And out of the 6 brothers that you are, that's the second generation of chartered accountants in your family. 3 of them are chartered accountants.
Yes,
and you happen to be the youngest of the 3 CAs.
Yes, there are 3. We are 6 brothers. Number 1 was a chartered accountant. Number 3 is a chartered accountant. Number 5, that is me, is a chartered accountant. And the odd numbers are all chartered accountants. And the even numbers are 2 are doctors. One is a medical doctor, one is a dental doctor, And one is the doctor in another sense. He is a PhD, therefore he has a doctorate. Therefore, three doctors, 2, 4, 6 are technically doctors.
Okay, so you have one on the science background and the other are the commerce guys who
Science background, medical background. We are also done law, so we have some combination of the various requisite professional degrees which were at that point of time prevalent, being there in the family.
So I think you qualified in the year 1983, sir.
Yeah, November 82 exam,
82 exams
and the results came in Jan 83.
Jan 83. Yeah. So how normally there is whenever we talk to people, they talk about two things. The one, they say that if you have a family of chartered accountants and you join the existing firm, you have a huge advantage of getting the clientele's existing systems. You have the approach to the things and everything moves very smoothly. The second thought process which people say is that the expectation of your clients is very hard. The type of clients you have, they have a lot of clot with your elders in the family. So they actually bulldoze or dominate over you. What was your feeling when you joined this firm, and then was it an advantage to be part of this firm, or it had its baggages also?
Couple of things are important for us to appreciate. I did my articleship at a time when India was still a closed economy. So the question to look at today's profile of clients concerned, many large corporates, many multinationals coming to you, they were non-existent then. So we were therefore catering to the small community, domestic community. And it's in that atmosphere that I joined the firm. When I qualified also in 83, the same situation economically continued. It's only somewhere in mid-90s that we had the opening of the economy and people, larger corporates coming in at that point of time to ask you questions. So I was therefore into a system which was not very open at that point of time. And to say that whether there's an advantage, yes, there is definitely an advantage. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to struggle in terms of making a living. You don't have to therefore get into the habit of saying that you look for clients, you establish a practice. To that extent, therefore, I was in a comfort zone. But the issue therefore would be, if you're in a comfort zone, do you continue in the comfort zone or do you try and take the position forward? That's an important aspect. You take the position forward. You therefore build upon the career for the organization. In the process, you build a career for yourself. It's a process over a period of time. I learned at that initial point of time, having been completing his chartered accountancy, I was initially looking forward to say, yes, let me be a chartered accountant. Let me carry practice forward, the practice that the firm had, and had no aspirations at that point of time to say that what will happen somewhere in 90s when the economy opened up. We had not visualized all of these things concerned. So we were without visualization at that point of time.
And basically your firm has always been a direct tax firm.
Yes,
practicing and focusing on direct taxes.
Always a direct tax firm.
I think in the initial few years, father or uncle were into the practice of indirect taxes to very limited.
At that point of time, where the uncle told me once was that the district commissioners used to handle all of this, and they used to handle those for income tax as well as sales tax at that point of time. And therefore, for some time when the practice was initially commenced, both the technicalities of income tax as well sales tax were dealt with, but the sales tax was given up quite early in the career of the firm itself. Quite early.
And in fact, when we as students were getting into this course and all that, we were always saying that, knowing that, okay, if you are an article of Khincha and Company and all, it is the privilege over there. How many chartered accountants would have qualified from your firm? Approximate numbers. I know you don't have the numbers with you.
This is something I've been telling our people concerned, that we need to have some sort of a
diary also.
Yeah, to say that in your, you call the alumni. So how do you prepare the list of the alumni itself? Because it's been about now, from Independence Day, if you look at 77 years of the firm in existence.
And on an average, you have not less than 70 to 80 CAs, articles.
Articles, they are about today, let us say, is about 45, 50 articles.
50 articles,
yeah. So people do clear in 2 exams. Now we have 3 exams.
No, 3
the
exams.
Possibility of...
no, even if you take an average of 2 exams, you talk about 75 years and 20 people qualifying.
So 150 exams.
1,500 plus CS?
I don't know. That may be a little higher number in my opinion. Maybe a little higher number. Possible.
Because what happens, sir, is that the first attempt people would be the 20.
Correct.
The second and third and fourth attempts, so if you add on.
Yeah.
And if you take the, when I used to talk to Mr. Vittal Yamkongod, he asked me once that, are you an article of Khincha? I said, no, I'm the article of Mr. Kiranchand Nahar. So the first thing he said was, oh, you're a subsection of Khincha.
Correct.
So
Kiranchand
how
was one
many,
article.
if you add on the subsections to your section,
Then there are quite a lot.
there would be at least around 3,000 to 4,000
Yeah, there will be
series.
quite a lot then. Significant amount of number then.
Okay. And one of the beautiful things that your firm has given to Bangalore CAs is that whenever any chartered accountant had a doubt or a query, or he was stuck in certain activities or in the direct taxes, they could directly approach you, and your firm was always helpful in doing it. This culture we have not seen in other parts of the country. At least I have traveled across the country, and many of the CA firms have seen that they say that their seniors would never mentor them or handhold them in difficulties when they were starting the practices. And as far as I know your firm very closely, you have not only mentored them, you have also given them lots of assignments when they started growing on the practices and all that. So what were you all not afraid that people would take your files and go? Because that was a time when people were very conservative to say that hold on to your files.
Do people take your file away and go? Or do they appreciate that there is some quality in these people concerned?
No, the quality was no doubt about it, sir.
That's the issue today. Therefore,
Okay.
today, for example, if somebody were to ask me a question today also on the phone, I will not ask their name, I'll answer the question. A lot of people ask some questions and doubts, and I clarify them on the phone itself. I don't tell them, you come and meet me, do anything. There's no question of, therefore, his person disclosing his identity also. But then the belief is that somebody is asking a question because he is in a genuine doubt. No professional will use this time to just have fun at my cost. They don't do that. So anybody asking you a question means that somebody wants a particular point of view, you give it to them. Now, does it help you? It helps you directly and indirectly. It helps you because you're building goodwill over a period of time. Somebody will then go and make a mention of this to say that this is what I got from this person. He never asked me my name, identity, and I got the answer. Two, it helps you sharpen your responses. Somebody is asking a problem. Every problem in this world is very unique. Nobody can say that this problem is a repetitive problem of somebody else. Therefore, you find yourself in reacting to that. Somebody gets his experience, somebody gets his thought process, somebody therefore were to say, this could be an angle of the thought process. So when you interact with people, they get their experience to the table. Many a time, therefore, I am an assimilation of experiences. So many people come and share their doubts, so many people come and share their viewpoints, their arguments, and then you are able to therefore talk to them, interact with them, and you become an assimilation of experience. So therefore, over a period of time, because of this assimilation of experience, I have definitely significantly improved. So that's the way I look at it positively. And when you lose this nature to say that your assimilation of experiences and therefore your ability to react to a problem, to respond to a problem is therefore improved, it helps you in the long run to say more and more people will come to you because you're able to answer this question immediately.
Okay. This one culture about your family firm, and when you see the same thing with other CA firms in Bangalore, this has been that uniqueness in Bangalore where most of our senior members have been very helpful, including a few of your classmates also, like Mr. KS Ravishankar, the late Mr. KS Ravishankar, etc. They were always very helpful whenever we used to go them as a chartered accountant or a student. In fact, the courtesies which were there. Why is this culture so different in Bangalore compared to the other cities?
What is the essence of a professional? In my opinion, it's a combination of work and value. Work, you have to be professionally good. You have to excel in your work. And along with that is a value system that you get. You need to appreciate that knowledge is not the exclusive domain of any individual. If I had knowledge to you, what do you do about it? Feel that you can share it with somebody else, absolutely fine. By sharing your knowledge, nobody's taking away your knowledge and not the knowledge remains with you. Remains with you.
There's a beautiful story about that if you have 2 rupees, you give me one, I take your 1 rupee, we both remain with 1 rupee. But if we share knowledge, I give you an opinion, you give me an opinion, we both have 2 opinions.
Absolutely.
So that's a beautiful
That's a better example. That's a better way of putting it to say that, therefore, you need to carry your values along with your work. That's the most important aspect in my opinion. You're not known only for your work quality. You're also known for your conduct, your values, your human affairs. How are you looking at? So somebody were to say he's a good person, they possibly look at all of these qualities concerned and say he's a good person because he's a good professional. and he has a good value system. He has a good human relationship with him. He has a good sense of feeling for the fellow beings. That's extremely important in my opinion. Extremely important in my opinion.
So it's about 42 and a half years that you have passed as a chartered accountant.
Yes.
3 years of your articleship.
Yes.
And if I'm not wrong, you were also a ranker in the CA final and inter also?
Ranker in CA final, not
CA
in
final.
intermediate.
Yes, CA final also.
CA final.
And the little bit I know about you on that part of your journey, that as a chartered accountant, when you qualified for the first time in a students' conference, you also presented a paper.
Correct.
So the passion what you had at that time of presenting a paper, and I'm sure even in those days you would have read for at least around 30-40 hours before you went to present in the paper. Even after 42 years of being in practice, what drives you so much to read? Even today when you present a paper, I am told from your office staff that you still spend minimum 10 to 20 hours preparing for that paper for every session that you prepare. What drives you so much into going? Because a lazy guy like me always feels that once I've read it, why should I read it again? When I used to talk to Mr. Vitaliam Kungur, he always used to say that, Sanjay, that every time when question is asked to me, I reread the law again to find out whether there could be something more than this when the circumstances are given. What drives you so much to prepare, study the same thing? Doesn't it make you crazy?
The question therefore is there a constant process of improvement? That's the most critical thing that we need to ask. That have you achieved everything you want to, or there is a scope for further improvement? If you think there is a scope for improvement, be it a mundane topic, be it a topic you have dealt with in your life earlier, if you think there is a scope for improvement, then absolutely wonderful. I give an example of, let us say, Ustad Zakir Hussain. That's a very good example. He's a master. There is no tune in the world that he cannot create. But he practices significantly every day, or he used to practice significantly. Why? He knew everything. There is no raga that he didn't know. There is nothing of a music that he couldn't create. But still he used to practice significantly every day. I mean, there is a scope for improvement for a person who has achieved that level of excellence also.
Did you see the same dedication, the same involvement in the present generation in the CA profession, sir?
The circumstances in which the present generation are working is different from what we were used to. We were not having any tools to assist us. Everything was left to your own struggle. Today, the next generation or the present generation have many things to assist them. You talk about the latest tools of trade available with them, the artificial intelligence available with them. Therefore, what was somebody doing himself is now possible to be outsourced to a machine, some portion of the jobs concerned. So therefore, they are much better placed in terms of their ability to handle an issue concerned than what we were. Now, at the same time, they are getting a help from somebody else is possibly making us believe that they are not that hardworking today. Because they are now therefore getting an answer, therefore they are relaxed a little more to say, I don't have to study, I don't have to therefore do anything. Whatever I want, the solution is available with me at hand. And that is the perception sometimes we as seniors do get, that the second generation or the present generation is smart enough, but not hardworking enough. And that's the issue, that if this next generation therefore continues the aspect of toiling, that's extremely important, then they will be far better professionals than what we are. Because they have the ability to have assistance to them, they can improve their efficiency, they can improve their approach to the work concerned. That will be a deadly combination.
So you mean to say with the efforts what you have put in, if they put in that, with the tools what they have, which we did not have it at that time, a combo of these two, they could take it to a different league.
They could take it to a different level. Believe me,
even if they don't put in the efforts, they're still doing substantially better because they got substantial tools at a macro level they're able to deliver.
Absolutely. Today, every function that is having a repetitive work or an element of, should I say, mundaneness of the job is now being done by a machine. So therefore, the question is, you don't have to therefore struggle to prepare or file a return of income. You don't have to struggle to have even an audit program. You don't have to struggle to have some basics in terms of our function, the prerequisites. They're all available to them. How do I respond? How do I draft a deed? How do I draft a partnership deed? How do I draft a release deed? How do I draft anything? Articles of association, memorandum of association. So a lot of this thing that were the domain of chartered accountant, and they used to get a pride to say, I'm the only person doing it. All that is gone today. So therefore, you need to retain your pride by what? Therefore, the mundaneness is gone, the routineness is gone. You therefore need to have your edge by that niche knowledge that you have. And there they have to, therefore, in my opinion, not bank upon as yet, the artificial intelligence. No. There is an improvement there. I don't know what will happen tomorrow. Will the improvement therefore go beyond what the current reality is? The answer is yes. To what extent? I don't know. But as on date, therefore, the ability or the need for a person to devote time for his talent upliftment still remains.
You would be around now 65, 66 years?
I'm 67 today. Completed
67 years, yes. Even, do you also adopt to technology the way your juniors in the office and all are doing it? Or you have not been very...
I have not been very tuned to looking at technology for two reasons. One, I find that the pace of learning is so large that you need to continue to devote time for that learning. I find that the time is not sufficient to update yourself. And that updation cannot happen through machines. It can happen through by your own efforts.
Oh, no.
So what happens therefore is I have a lot of people who assist me on the technology portion of it. The thought process is remaining important. Therefore, I focus on the thoughts that are important for the purpose of handling a particular matter.
So at the macro level of technology,
yes,
you still are updated on it.
Yeah, I'm fighting battles for all technology companies. Okay. Although I may not be using technology much, I'm fighting the battles for all technology companies. Therefore, I have to understand the essence of technology. I may not understand the way in which the technology functions, but the essence of technology I understand. Therefore, I'm able to understand and appreciate that and put forward the arguments concerned. I will not use it myself, but the underlying essence of it is definitely known.
At 67 years of age, you just came out with a series of commentary of the Sampath Iyengar's book on the income tax commentary. And approximately around 20,000 pages were written by you and your co-author, Mr. Chaitanya. So, was it really tough writing 20,000 pages? Because I know writing one page makes a lot of things. And 20,000 pages, reading it and all that. And for that, you would have read at least around 5 lakh pages to write 20,000 pages, if I'm not wrong.
Somewhere around, I'll give the background of this.
Yes, sir.
Somewhere around COVID time, the publishers of Sampath Iyengar came to us to say that we would want you to edit. He came to me. I said, fine, this is a dream come true technically. Because when I was a student and I began as a chartered accountant, Sampath Iyengar was a commentary that I admired and respect. I admired.
To just cut you here, sir, when I was a student and I had taken up the responsibility of speaking in a SICASA program on the Finance Act, the first thing you asked me, Sanjay, do you know to interpret the law? And I said that, what is that? Then he said that, will you do justice when you're presenting a paper on the Finance Act? Because you should know what is the meaning of insertion, what is the meaning of with retrospective effect, from what it's going to be, what is the provision, etc. And at that time also you advised me to purchase Sampath Iyengar's commentary 1990s volume. I think that was a volume which was running there. And you told me read the volume 1 of that and then you will have a better understanding. Then you may do a little justice to the topic. Otherwise you are too young to take this topic is what you told me. So from those days, I think it was always your favorite book, that and Palkiwala's book.
Palkiwala, 2 books.
These 2 books were your favorite books in reading. And getting that opportunity from 1980s when you would have read the earlier volume of that. And now in 2025 when you come out of it, how is the feeling of it?
So I will talk about myself a little more. As soon as I completed chartered accountancy, Mohandas Pai said, we had completed CA together. Final exams.
You both were classmates.
You both were classmates from middle school. From middle school, we were classmates and best of friends, like brothers you grew up. At the end of this, he said, Padam, you have to teach. No option of saying no. So he said, I'm also going to teach. Join me.
That was after CA or
pre-CA? After CA. After CA. Join. He said, I'm teaching auditing at the CA Institute. You also teach auditing. That's the way he said. No option of saying no. Then... yes, I did start teaching at the CA Institute, auditing as a subject for the intermediate.
You were also teaching at St. Joseph's College, if I'm not wrong.
I did teach for St. Joseph's College for a little period of time when one of the lecturers
87 to 89 in that time, I think.
Not every year. There was some time when one of the professors had left the college in the middle of the academic year. The principal approached me to say, can you therefore complete the portion? I said yes, because I had to teach Indian Contract Act at that point of time. And when I was in college, I had one of the best lectures, the most inspiring lecturers I have ever seen in my life.
Mr. S.P. Iyengar?
S.P. Iyengar, who was teaching us the contract law. The way he taught us, some of the sections are still in my mind as it is verbatim. So when you say, somebody said, hey, you have to teach contract law, then I said, I am stepping in the shoes of Mr. S.P. Iyengar. I should not say no to this job. I said yes, and I did teach the students of final BCom, the Indian contract law. At that point of time, K. Raghu, who became the president of the institute, was a student. V. Raghuraman was a student of that class. So I did have some good people there. And I did teach the Indian
Mr.
contract.
Chaitanya was not studying with them at that time?
No, Chaitanya was not there. Chaitanya was in some other college. He was not
But
here.
they are from the same batch of CAs.
Yes, on the same batch. Chaitanya became a student of mine incidentally when I was teaching at the CA Institute, when I moved from auditing to tax. So after a couple of years of auditing, Pai said, I'm not teaching anymore. But then I liked the aspect of teaching, and therefore I continued and I shifted to income tax. I did therefore teach income tax for the intermediate, and then over a period of time moved also to take the final classes. So when I used to teach for this, I should take only one class a week. And that was because I said I had to prepare very well. So in the process of that teaching, for preparing for one class, I finished the commentary of Sampath Iyengar in one session. Next time I took the aspect of commentary of Palkewala, finished that also. Then took up Chaturvedi and Pitisarya, finished that also. Then took the aspect of D.M. Harish and finished that also. And then next session thereafter I had a repetition of this. So that was a good exposure to teach, and because of the teaching, to read. So nobody understands the value of teaching when you are preparing seriously, that you're able to read so much because of your pressure of teaching there. And I was able to finish this commentary. And when I read this commentary, then I felt that appreciation and respect for this commentary was significantly high. Therefore, when Rajaratnam was doing the edition for Sampath Iyengar, he was not keeping good health. And therefore, they had to find somebody else. The publishers came to me and said, would you do the editing? He had a background test of us, and therefore he said, no, Padam Khincha is the person to go through.
Rajaratnam is the same person who also used to write for the Hindu.
Correct. He's right for the Hindu. He's the same person. He did the edition. He had edited the last two versions of the Sampath Iyengar's commentary. And when his health was failing, they had to look at somebody else to say who will do this job. And when the offer came, I told Chaitanya, because Chaitanya and me have been doing a lot of work together. So it is but natural that I go to Chaitanya and ask him this question to say, if there's an offer come, should we take it up? We initially said we should take it up for the reason that it's a privilege to put your hands to Sampath Iyengar's book. And we knew it's going to be a task that is going to be very difficult, somewhere sort of a mad job. But then nevertheless, this opportunity will never come to you again in your life. So we had to say yes. So we initially said yes to among ourselves and said, we go ahead with this. Then spoke with Arvind Datar to say this is a job come. He said, yeah, you have to go ahead with this job concern.
Arvind Datar is again the person who wrote the Kanga and Palkiwala.
Yeah, was now doing the edition of Kanga. So we wrote to him because he's a person who is a phenomenal author.
A senior advocate.
Phenomenal author. His ability to work is unbelievable.
Even the Constitution, I think.
Constitution law, company law, he's an expert on central excise. His books on central excise are a big hit. Income tax is a hit. So therefore, there's no subject that he's not an expert at. And the ability of output is significant. So we had to talk to him. We had known him very well. And we knew that he's going to give you the correct advice. He also advised us, you should take it up. He had seen our earlier book on Section 5. He has written the foreword on the book on Section 5. We're very happy with that book. So having known us, having seen us, he said, this is the right time for you to undertake this job. We also had COVID at that point of time where there was a lull in the practice because you're all confined largely to home. At that point of time, we began. So it was somewhere in 2020. And the edition existing was about 13,000 pages. 13,000 pages.
And you made
edition.
it to 20,000 pages.
Yeah, we have taken 20,000 pages. One, two, we also had to therefore do a lot of work on the existing volume to put the current case law. So significant amount of work has happened, original work has happened in the process of coming out with the 13th revised edition. So I can't take credit for the whole 20,000 pages. I can take credit for the fact that we have gone through every line of the existing 13,000 pages, existing 13,000 pages, and added our own about 6,000 to 7,000 pages in terms of actual numbers concerned. So we were looking therefore at the COVID time when we began doing this job. And we also were sure that we need to have a set of professionals who will help us on this job concern. And because of our own involvement in academic circles, we were able to identify people across Bangalore, Chennai, Pune, Bombay, who were good professionals, whom we had known personally. And we requested them, will you join us in this work? And believe me, everybody agreed because they said this is a good way to learn and good way to work with this team. So we therefore had a team under us. So we then had a situation where between me and Chaitanya, we said we will split the portion consent. 20,000 pages is about 10,000 pages technically. And then we had some portions given to the team to say that you will update this and give it to us. And we therefore used to have periodical interactions with them. We had given them the guidelines as to how to go about it. And when they used to do the work consent, they used to send it to us. Respectively, we would have gone through each line, each word of it to say whether it is now reflecting the idea, make corrections, make suggestions, give it back to them. They will then do the edit again. And then we will say, yeah, this is now fit for printing, or we make corrections all over again. And there were some topics we were having a situation that we need to have interactions among ourselves. So me and Chaitanya should have interactions to say that these are the topics that require to be discussed before you give a final shape to what is going to come out in the print. So this came about a situation, therefore the work was divided. They used to send in their portions of work to us, and we had one person from our office coordinating all of this, and therefore began the work. Somewhere down the line, we were quite excited to have this work coming out, our name also coming out in a big way. And 2 years, work went very well. Somewhere down the line, we felt tired by our own efforts that too much of output is happening and we're not able to do. Our professional work is on, our academic work is on. So as it is, as practitioners, we are not able to then say, ignore the current workload. And beyond that workload, this had to happen. But we were then saying, this is something that can be achieved by a steady dedication to it. If you do, therefore, 20 pages a day, 365 days, you're able to cover 7,000 pages easily.
So 2 years each.
So that's the way we considered ourselves to say 20 pages a day is fine enough. If that were to be the breakdown of the thought concerned, it will not be very difficult. But believe me, 20 pages also is not an easy job to edit, understand, and then confirm 20 pages. It's a difficult job. But we consoled ourselves and said 20 pages a day will give us the time enough to do this work concerned, and therefore we said yes. As we began working on it, we were not able to achieve this 20 pages a day on an average because too much of work was involved. But slowly, steadily, we began doing the work. After some sort of a lull in the mid phase, we again renewed our energy, and when it came to the end of it, we said, no, it's a time for us to push through, and we were therefore able to complete that job by about 4 years of, little more than 4 years of actual work.
So this 4 to 5 years of time you put in around 20,000 pages of written material into it. And suddenly you heard that the income tax law is going to be changed and they're rewriting the new law and coming out with that. How would you have felt about it? I remember this because in 2004, I came out with a book on the rate of taxes under the sales tax regime. And VAT was supposed to coming, not coming and all. And after that, the moment VAT came in 2005, the whole efforts we put in writing on the rate of taxes for 10,000 products basically became useless in 2005 because VAT had completely different series of rate services there. So did you have a demotivation factor when this was announced?
The misfortune that was attaching your work possibly may not visit us for the reason that the new draft of the bill is largely a reformation of the current bill.
Okay.
So there's nothing substantially different. They have only said, therefore, we are not having any policy changes. The FM said no policy changes. They're going to make the act more readable, and we are going to remove those sections that don't have relevance today. So the new act, that is the proposed bill, is largely a reformation of what the current law is. So to that extent, therefore, the book that we have written will continue to retain its relevance even under the new law. I'm not saying there are no changes. There are changes. But the foundational portions or the foundational concepts are therefore continuing to have its moorings in the existing law. So there's not a paradigm shift in the entire direction which the IT Act is moving. So to that extent, therefore, our work will continue to remain relevant and it will be useful in making the next commentary. Suppose we do the next commentary now. What will happen is, therefore, about 40% of the current act is not there in the new act because they have been removed from the act itself. A lot of incentive provision because the government is working on a no incentive, less tax regime. So most of the provision like 10A, 8HSC, 8HSC, so many incentive provisions are not there in the Act now. Therefore, to that extent, but 40% of the workload will get reduced for the reason that they have not been brought forward into the new act. To that extent, the workload will reduce. Otherwise, what remains now will be some sort of a extension of what is the current law. And therefore, we'll have to work on the current law basis the existing law. And to that extent, therefore, there will be a small shift, but not a significant shift in the work which are required to perform for the new bill.
Before you joined your CA, you were also very much keen a sports person also. You were also India's fastest bowler as far as I know. What was your major passion, to be a cricketer or to be a chartered accountant?
Left to myself, cricketer. Left to myself. That is something that you are able to do. At that point of time, I was able to find that recognition among your peers. I was not able to find that recognition in doing BCom. So if you ask me at a point of comparison that you're able to get recognition by somebody else, because at that level, I was in the Ranji Probables also. So I used to play with the legends at that point of time every day. Prasanna, Chandrasekhar, Kirmani, Roger Binney. So I used to practice with them every day. Sudhakar Rao. All the entire test team practically used to be here. So
I heard even Kapil Dev used to be there in the nets when you used to.
I bowled to the test cricketers, Kapil Dev, Sunil Gavaskar, when they, as a team, used to come to Bangalore to have a camp. For example, before they went to Pakistan, very 78, 79 tour of Pakistan, they came and had a camp in Bangalore. When New Zealand team came in, they used to have a camp. So when foreign teams are coming in here or India is going out, they used to have camps. Therefore, in those camps, you used to go and bowl to all the test players also. So that's a situation where you used to get recognition from people around you. That recognition was not happening in BCom because I'm still in degree college. So at that point of time, therefore, you get a little enamored by what recognition you're getting, and you look forward to a career to say, hey, I should be therefore playing this game. I'm getting some kick out of it, something I love also, and therefore, possibly at that point of time, I was looking at cricket as a career.
And why didn't you pursue it going forward, sir?
Like a traditional family, there was no encouragement at home. We had a difficult time because my father had passed away very early in his life. We were 6 brothers and 2 sisters, economically not very well off. My mother had a great struggle to bring us all up. Our uncle, therefore, was a person who sacrificed his life to bring us all up. So the circumstance in which we were, therefore, working was not conducive that one man can go away and play cricket as a passion, not taking forward the family tradition.
Okay. And those
cricket
days,
was not paying.
In those days, cricket was not paying.
No, cricket was not paying at all.
So that was one of the major reasons.
That was one of the reasons as to therefore say that you should not play. Therefore, there's a discouragement from home to say cricket is not something that you can look forward for a career. Today, if I were to look forward, every parent is saying the child play IPL, play IPL. They're encouraging. Forget studies, play IPL. That will be wonderful. That type of an atmosphere was not
even
there.
A 13, 14-year-old kid has been projected to be only a cricketer.
Only a cricketer. Because today sports is a big career today. You can make a good career out of sports. When we played the West Indies match for 3 days, we were given 600 rupees. So that was also a princely sum at that point of time. But you couldn't have made a career out of cricket. If I played cricket as a test cricketer, for example, the best I would have been happy with being an officer in a bank. And say you will be an officer in a bank and you will therefore be allowed to play cricket and earn some salary as an officer in the bank.
And when you're not playing, you better sit in the bank.
Better sit in the bank. So that's the way it was.
That was the way it was.
So although passion was there that you play cricket, family pressures were there. Everybody in the family above me was a rank holder somewhere. So then the worry was in the family that this fellow will, by playing cricket, go off the track, and therefore he will not therefore be the tradition that the family has to maintain. And therefore, rightly or wrongly, for so many reasons, therefore, there was some sort of a discouragement. And that discouragement led to some sort of an injury I had in the shoulder prior to the match I was playing against West Indies. I was there in the 11. But the day prior to the match, I had an injury and I had to be staying out of the match. That possibly put an end to my cricket career. And possibly God had the design to say that.
And which year was that, sir?
This is 78, 79.
And that was the time when you just joined your articles after that?
No. It was in second BCom I was playing. I was asked to play against the West Indies in second BCom when I was in second BCom. And I had an injury at that point of time. And it took me a long time to recover. We didn't have all the support, medical support that is presently available.
And the ortho specialists.
We should have an ice pack in the night and then say, if it improves in the morning, you will play. Otherwise, you sit outside. It didn't improve. It took me a long time to come back to my full force of bowling again. And at that time, therefore, BCom ended and I had to do CA therefore. So if you look back at destiny, there is a very wonderful design that they have created for you to say that your cricket career will end here and CA will start. And there are so many ways in which this was achieved. God achieved this in very, very wonderful ways.
I still remember in one of the Karnataka State CA Association's talk of inner transformation, you had also told that you failed in your LKG.
I failed in my LKG.
And you said that it was destiny and it was a great advantage that you failed in your LKG because you were able to have friends like Mr. Mohandas Pai and KS Ravi Shankar sir and all that stuff. Sir.
So to me, therefore, that's a statement I've made in that program, and I made a statement elsewhere also, that everything in your life is very well designed. You need to appreciate as to why something is happening. There is a positive in every facet of your life.
So a silver lining in every dark cloud is what you believe in.
Believe me, there is. There is a particular purpose. We are not able to fathom, we are not able to understand that purpose. But there is, behind every happening in your life, behind every incident in your life, there's something that is meant for you to be meaningful. Meaning, the most powerful power in this world is not here to harm you. It's only to do you good.
So before I knew you personally well, I had read the preface of your teacher's book, Mr. S.P. Iyengar's book. He had written a book on accounting, and in the preface he had written that most of the students do not know why does the closing stock come in outside the trial balance.
Right.
So this was something which motivated me to go and meet Mr. S.P. Iyengar at SSM College, where he was the founder principal and all. And I had an occasion of meeting him. And then he did not come to our college on our invite to give a special lecture on that, but he spent 1 hour on the parking lot talking to us about it. And it was a coincidence that in 1984, when I had passed my 10th, I had gone to him as one of the first students of that college to take an admission. But then he rejected me, saying that I was a second attempt in 10th, and so he did not take. And in 1988, he said, "How I wish I had a student like you." He was said to be one of the most brilliant teachers. Even in SSMRV, a few students, when I had spoken to them, they said that he can walk into any class where there's no teacher and he could just speak. What do you feel that such mentors, are they still available?
Teaching has to be an inspirational act. Teaching is not an accomplishment of some job that you're performing. We in St. Joseph's College of Commerce were very fortunate to have some brilliant teachers. In fact, people were telling us that prior to our joining college, there's some other teachers also who had retired by the time we joined in, and they were extraordinary. What we had to see was S.P. Iyengar in action. You take any subject, and he's a master at it.
He's a master
at it. He used to come and teach classes and give a lecture, walk out of the class, when the bell rang, walk out, next day come back to the class, don't ask where, begin from the same word and continue. So that is the ability of a person concerned, and absolute mastery. He has never given notes. If at all you plan to give notes on one day, let us say once in a month, he used to get 6 books, open the 6 books on the table, read from 6 books, and then start giving notes on it. Just like that, no copying. So read from those 6 books, look what points are there, and give you notes. Those abilities were, when we were looking at that, we were stunned to say, how could a man do like this? Those were the inspiring days for us to say that if you have to achieve something in life, there is a goal for you to reach, and therefore you should be looking at that goal for the purpose of achieving some success in your life. This is in terms of technical subject. We are also on a language like English, a professor Govindarao, J.K. Govindarao, on Shakespeare, unbelievable in terms of his passion to teach, in terms of what intensity he gets to teaching. So when we had these teachers there, we knew that there is some level for you to achieve, and these people who are teachers are far ahead of you, that you possibly can't believe that you will reach that height ever. And that gives some spark in that point of time to say that if you want to do something in life tomorrow, then there is a level of excellence for you to achieve, and these people are the standard setters for that level of excellence, and we therefore had this inspiration. So in my opinion, in my life, there have been a number of people around who have been some sort of a motivator today, within the family, outside the family.
Would you like to tell us about them, sir?
I made a statement that my brothers were rank holders. So when I began studying, I saw all my elders studying significantly for their exams. We used to have in our family even our cousins coming in, neighbors also coming in, and all of them studying extraordinarily seriously, getting up at 3:30 in the morning, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, my mother preparing tea for all of us, all of them without disturbing each other, studying very seriously. Significant in terms of the dedication. All of them are rank holders. All of them are brilliant professionals, unbelievable in their own field today. So therefore you look at it and say, yeah, you are also a person who has done well in life, but you look at it and ask the question, are you good as they are? Possibly answer is no. They are wonderful professionals in their life. My elder brother in chartered accountancy is brilliant. So the question therefore is,
He was a gold medalist in
gold medalist in
company
BCom,
law.
gold
If I'm not
medalist.
wrong, he was a gold medalist in company law.
First rank in BCom, first rank in LLB, fifth rank in CA, a lot of records for the buying highest. So there were people in the family. My brother-in-law, both were rank holders. My sister's husband, both were rank holders. Brilliant people. So you have people within the family who are brilliant in terms of academics. In terms of value system, brilliant. My uncle was extraordinarily brilliant. My mother was brilliant without being qualified that way. But she was possibly better than all six of us brothers combined in terms of our ability to understand, our ability to judge, our experience was brilliant. So you have this atmosphere around you. Then you necessarily have to say that this is something worthwhile following. This is one part of the story. This is one wonderful aspect of family life. If I look back today also, if I look at my own children, they are better than me. My wife is better than me, undoubtedly. Today I am in the center stage of talking about in the interview here. But technically, in terms of talent, they may not be here. But if you ask them inherently how they are better than me.
In fact, if I'm not wrong, Bhabhi is very good at the Russian language also.
She is a Russian, she's a wonderful painter, she is a wonderful singer, she is a wonderful mimic artist. So there is so much of talent that they have sacrificed the talent for me to come and talk here. That's the position concerned now. That's remarkable. My daughter is very brilliant, my son is very brilliant. In their own ways, they are far ahead of you. And they are saying in the limelight, possibly they will come when they will say that, yeah, they are also achieved something in life. I am here basking in the sunshine here and the glory here, but there are a lot of people, therefore, in the family who have contributed to this success. This is one part of the story. Second, I said teachers, unbelievable teachers in the college time. Then the friend circle. You made a mention of Whittle. So after I cleared my CA and you asked me this question, you're also a paper writer and a speaker at the initial conference.
Yes, sir.
Then I also took up certain assignments at a professional circle. But then you're struggling. So what do? I used to go to Whittle. And Whittle, I have this topic I've taken up and I would like to have your input on it. Brilliant guidance, unbelievable depth of the story concerned. He used to therefore help you, encourage you to say how to go about it.
I still remember when I used to visit you and for the clarifications and talk about the other professionals, you used to say that in Bangalore, one of the best in English drafting on tax matters would be Mr. Whittle Yamkungar.
English drafting, appreciation of law, the appreciation of every grammar, text, context, syntax, unbelievable. The level of intensity to go and understand a subject was brilliant. This is one part of the story. Then we began, rightly or wrongly, I made a reference to Chaitanya to say that he was a student and at the end of his CA career, he said, what to do? I said, teach. I was teaching. So he began teaching. Then we said, we need to start discussing. So we began interacting weekly. We have been interacting for the last 20 years plus, discussing in technical matters every week. And we therefore look at how the law is developing. We therefore discuss professional matters. At that point of time, no disturbance. Don't bother about client. Don't bother about work. Undiluted attention to details in terms of technicality. Then you find people, he's more brilliant than you. Then you learn, understand, hey, there is something that is better for you to understand and learn. Mohandas Pai, I've been with him, unbelievable in terms of talent, knowledge. Therefore, you get inspired to say that man knows too much. I began associating with him in so many programs, learning every day, brilliant. Ravi Shankar in teaching was brilliant. In fact, we were teaching at the CA Institute together, and people used to say this combination deadly. He was brilliant, actually far more brilliant than I am. His ability to recall law, comma, full stop, absolutely verbatim. He is brilliant.
I think what he studied in his college days on Indian Contracts Act and Sale of Goods Act, He could tell it even after 30 years.
He should tell after 30 years.
With the comma, full stops, punctuations.
Yes, absolutely. Unbelievable to see that a man can be like that in his action.
An excellent cook, an excellent person who used to be playing mouth organs and thing.
Yes.
Humor, he was excellent. Philosophy, he was excellent.
Unbelievable.
So,
you have pointed very correctly. So you are meeting those people. They are people whom you are interacting with. And they are the people who tell you a lesson directly or indirectly. Hey, look here, you have something more to achieve. Please be sure, be on your toes concerned. So I've been fortunate that way to be associated with this in an atmosphere or with people who have been above you in their professional qualification, in their character, in their conduct. So therefore, you always feel there's something more for you to achieve. I've had some better friends also like Rajendra Rao. Unbelievable in terms of the talent, the dedication,
the humbleness.
Humbleness. So hard work, even now, hard work is, they beat you in hard work. They beat you in intelligence. Therefore, you look forward to these people who are in your atmosphere any day better than you. Then you look forward to say, hey, there is something for you to achieve more. And therefore, that keeps you driving even today. That is what that drives you even today to say, hey, you should be therefore trying to improve yourself.
In this 42, 43 years of your journey as a chartered accountant and grooming so many kids across either as a career counseling programs or seminars, conferences, which indirectly or directly would have at least touched around more than 5 to 10,000 chartered accountants. And during your time, your percentage of pass was hardly 1 or 2%. And in that, I think in your batch of your degree, how many of them would have qualified as CAs?
Rightly or wrongly, we were from our college, from our school days, we were a very brilliant batch. I don't know, rightly or wrongly. Some of them didn't join CA with us, but they took up different courses. For example, we had a person in our school, Jayant Ram Verma is his name.
He was more the SEBI or something.
He was the SEBI chairman. He wrote the Verma committee report. He therefore became one of the MPC members in the RBI. He is a top-ranking professor in IIM Ahmedabad. He was in school. Voracious reader means unbelievable voracious reader. And in 8th, he used to go and tell the 9th standard fellows, if you have any doubts, come to me, I'll clarify all your doubts. Yeah.
And that was not considered arrogance. That was actually the fact.
Absolutely the fact. Unbelievable in terms of his voracious reading. There was one more person, Ramchandra Malya, in our school, who did CA from MES college and qualified. Very good person. He was a better rank than all of us in the CA rank.
Better rank?
Yeah, better rank. Highest rank than all of us.
Including Mohandas Pai,
yeah. So we were 5 of us, 6 of us got ranks in CA who were ranked in BCom.
That was the highest ranks in those days from Bangalore, I guess.
Yes. So that batch itself was somewhere designed. Brilliant.
And they say your teachers in St. Joseph College used to be a little hesitant to walk into your class?
Because, they said this batch is very difficult to handle. We used to ask a teacher, have you read this book? Do you know about this book? And they used to say, if you not, please read and come, then we'll ask you some questions on this matter. Especially Mohandas Pai was very brilliant at that. So there's a situation where they said this 74 to 79 batch was possibly one of the best batches that went out of the portrait of the college concern. So that way, if you look back, if you ask me this question, my failure in LKG led to this best batch in 74 to 79 being a product of circumstances.
The cream of the people where you competed very, very, I would say, positively with each other.
Because positively, absolutely. And,
which normally is not seen.
And after work, rightly or wrongly, again, we were chartered accountants practicing in different areas. Ravi Shankar was in indirect tax, I was in direct tax, Mohandas Pai was in the corporate side, Rajendra Rao was in the corporate law audit side. So we had to, therefore, an occasion to connect with each other, always continuous to connect with each other. And that's the way we, therefore, had some sort of a professional respect, professional learning from among each other. That's the way it led to the growth.
Why didn't you all 4 join together and form a company, sir? It would have been a wonderful area where all the 4 brilliant guys in different streams of practice, and then you do it. It would have.
There was at some point of time a reference to this.
92, 94.
There was a reference to that some briefly, but then they were also entrenched at that point of time that it was the topic broached but dropped immediately. Nothing seriously went about on this matter.
And with your level of knowledge and the growth you have got and the type of clientele you handle, never you had a concept where the big fours wanted to pull you into it and go, and you still continued with your family practice?
No, if you ask me, the big fours have been offering me the job right from day one. All the big four, some of them have come from different places. I will not name, that doesn't look good.
No names here.
No names, therefore. But then, yes, there was a case directly or indirectly for a long period of time to say that you please join us and we will give you something that you have not seen. Please join us. But I said no. There is a scope to do something well here. You have to learn law. Anywhere you are, if you have learned the law, there's a scope for shining in that law concern, not necessarily at a big office concern. So I stayed, and I was a little more happy that my father began a firm. We take that firm forward.
Come forward.
Yeah.
As a student, and just when I set up my practice and I was setting up my practice before I actually qualified, I had approached you and asked you one question that how do I set up my practices? What should I get into it? You may not remember this because many students come to you. You had given me two pieces of advice which I valued it even today. Number one, you had said that don't take up accounting jobs as a chartered accountant. After a few years also, you'll be paid as a clerk and not as a chartered accountant. And the second piece of advice you gave is that go behind Saraswati, not after Lakshmi, because if you have Saraswati with you, Lakshmi would always be there. And you are one person who always walked the talk of what you advised. And even today, we see that you are so inclined towards Mother Saraswati that Lakshmi does follow you, but that was not been your objective in life.
That has been right through the years of my life, objective that what do you acquire? Do you acquire wealth or you acquire knowledge? You acquire knowledge. Wealth will follow. How much it follows is destined for you. Something you will get, sometimes you will not get. Doesn't make a difference at all. But what's important for you is to acquire knowledge, not acquire wealth. The focus of your life, if you're trying to have acquire wealth, then your attitude to work and life will change a little. It will get distorted a little. But if you think you're passionate about your work, that you should strive and achieve excellence in what you're doing, dedicate that, then the entire joy is different. The entire joy. You need to have joy in your life. You need to have happiness in your life. All this comes because of work, not because of anything else. It doesn't come because of materiality. They come out of because of work. And if you think, therefore, if you're passionate about work, then that's the best thing for me, in my opinion, to have. This is a statement I made earlier also. We are all focusing on earning. This is a point I made in one of the earlier talks also. But what's important is to learn. If you learn, the word earn is always there inside it.
It's part of learning.
It's part of, if you learn, therefore, if you add, earning is there inside you. You don't have to run about earning. If you have learned, earning is there always with you. It will not go anywhere. And I'm convinced on this. I'm convinced on this matter.
So before we wind up, just last two things which I would like to know from you is one, how does spirituality help a person in his day-to-day life or in his career, growth, profession, handling success? I think I still remember there were times when people used to appreciate you after every talk and you used to feel a little embarrassed when they used to say that you spoke very well. And then one fine day, when somebody acknowledged you and you said that, yeah, thanks a lot. So it is a very different way of accepting success, but also very tough to accept success. And how do you link spirituality in life? And the second is, what's the message you'd like to give to the younger chartered accountant? The whole broadcast objective is this, that we learn from our seniors, we learn from our mentors, we basically try to understand and take a few takeaways from this session to say that what you would like to see in a student like us to grow in life.
Every process of life, you are into a journey. At any point of time, you think your journey is ended. That's the fall. Success also is not a destination, it's a journey. That means if you have achieved some success in your opinion, that's not the end of the story. There are many things further to be achieved. So therefore, what do you do therefore? Do you then sit back and relax and say, I've achieved? No. If you think you have achieved some success today, as we began earlier also, one of the statements I made earlier, there's a scope for improvement. So this is a destination. And very wonderful portion of this is you don't know where the destination is also. So therefore, you never reach the destination. So you need to continuously strive for it. One. Two, because you're knowing this fact that you have to continuously strive for it, it makes you humble to say that this is not the end of the story. You know the destination is further up. If you reach there, it again changes the goal. It goes further up therefore. So you achieve something, next thing is to dream next. So that keeps you a little grounded to say that what have you achieved today? When Sampath Iyengar book is written, what do you do now? I sit and relax with it and go on talking about it. No. Next edition is required, next book is required, next project is required, next work is required. Only then you think you have achieved something in life. Therefore, the growth has to be continuous. One. Two, do you think you have been the best in the world? There have been people who have been far better than you in thought process, in wisdom, in knowledge. So therefore, where are you? You are taking some sort of a pride in what you have done. So be it, fine. But is that the end of it? Are you the best? No, the answer is no. So you need to therefore continuously strive for working better, working more fruitful. And in that process, therefore, when you understand this, you think that there is something to remain firmly grounded. There was a good statement made by somebody. That's the way I'm recollecting. It is your attitude and not your aptitude that will determine your altitude.
So your attitude matters how you grow up in life.
Attitude matters, how you grow up in life. That's the extremely important aspect. And this is some statement somebody has made. There are two aspects of attitude that are very critical. If you look into attitude also, and you give a number to each alphabet, A is 1, T is whatever.
It comes to 100 or something.
It comes to 100. So attitude is absolutely fine. That's the best thing that can happen to a person concerned. So your attitude, not your aptitude. You may have talent. But what therefore turns the talent into some altitude you achieve in your life is the attitude. That's the most important aspect of it. So spirituality helps you in having that balance concern. That it tells you that things are happening in a way they're happening because you think you deserve. Some way, yes. But you think they should take pride in what you're doing? No, the answer is no. A lot of things, 5 elements join together to make a success of yours. 5 elements. This is what our philosophy tells us.
What are the 5, sir?
If I tell you the phrase, काल, स्वभाव, उद्यम, नसीब तथा भावी बलवान, 5 कारण जब मिले तब कार्य सिद्धि निदान. 5 कारण मिलते हैं तो कार्य सिद्धि होता है. उसमें पुरुषार्थ एक है. There are 4 other elements.
Okay. So in English, if you have to define it, I would say 1 is time.
Time.
The second is effort.
Yes.
The third is your karma.
Yes.
The fourth is the niyati.
Yes.
That is, and the thing is the nature.
Nature.
And the circumstances.
Yes.
So these are the
have
5.
to join together.
Okay.
So how to take pride? Your job is to take pride in the effort. That's all. 4 things will. There are many more better people than you, more talented people than you, more hardworking people than you. You have got some best success because of this joining together as a factor for you. If you're therefore grounded in this philosophy, then you think, yeah, there are 4 other factors. 1 factor is yours. Something else has to join together to make a success of you. It doesn't happen otherwise. If you're therefore grounded, then you will say, yeah, this is something you have to be here and continuously work for it. This is one part of the story. You asked me some other things to say. What is the way in which you would like to convey? This is the essence of the talk.
Yeah. Our objective is
work ethics and ethics of work.
Work ethics and ethics of work.
Yes. Work ethics. What do you mean work ethics? You should have an ethics in terms of hard work. That's a work ethic.
Okay.
And what work you're doing, you should have ethics to that work. Okay. So the work ethics is your philosophy, how you make yourself in terms of mental attitude. And also ethics of work. That means do things properly. Do things the way they are meant to be done. Don't do any shortcuts. Don't have, therefore, a need to say that I would like to prove somebody else I'm successful by what? Success in what? By some task? No. You have a success in your achievements in life over a period of time. So work ethics and ethics of work is extremely important in my opinion. This is statement number 1. Statement number 2 would be, when you talk about saying that this man is an overnight success, that overnight success is a long period of time. It doesn't happen by overnight success.
It is like a tree which you see on top of the ground, but you do not know how deep the roots were in.
Absolutely. Then it goes big. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to grow like that. You can't say that this has happened in an overnight way. So this takes a long time. So you have to appreciate the fact that somebody may call you today that you're a successful man, but it takes a good amount of effort. So be ready for the long haul. You don't look at 2 years effort and 3 years effort to say that hey, by this time people should recognize me, people should call me the best. No, be ready for a long haul. Long haul is what? 30, 40, 50 years. At that point of time, if you have achieved something, that is far better than what you have said. If I've spoken something today, in my opinion, there is far less of value than what I've done in my life. So well done is better than well said. So somebody should be happy to acknowledge your work, not acknowledge your statements like this. If you have acknowledged your work, feel happy about it. Not that you are able to make some very profound statements to inspire people concerned. No. Therefore, you should be happy with what you have done, not what you have said. And that's extremely important in my opinion, therefore, for you. Success will come before work. Where?
How would success come before work?
Can't come in. Only in the dictionary it comes. Doesn't come in life.
Okay.
Success comes before work only in the dictionary. Doesn't come in actual life. So be sure that
you have to first work and then success comes will follow.
that follows. That's the way I would tell people concerned. And believe me, in my opinion, this grind is absolutely wonderful. It is worth the effort. It takes long time, but then the satisfaction it gives you makes up for all those doubts you have in the initial phase of your life. When starting work seriously, after 3 years, 5 years, you'll say, where I've achieved, yaar, kab tak hoga ye, मालूम नहीं कब होगा करके. So that's the way God tests you. He therefore finds you metal, whether you're going to be for the long haul. He'll test you repeatedly for a long period of time. At some point of time, when he feels that you are now deserving some way, he'll start promoting you much better than what you deserve. He promotes you. Somewhere he creates circumstances where he gives you far more better recognition, better respect than what you actually deserve. But that waiting period is very long. We have to therefore have the patience for the waiting period and await the turn that happens. And thereafter you'll find that, yeah, it was worth the effort to have all of this day's concern of struggle, where the satisfaction that you're getting at the end of it is far more significant. That's what I will mention to everybody.
Yes, sir. With this, I think we wind up this podcast. Thank you very much, sir. It's been 30 years of being your student, and I still remain a student of it. Thank you very much for joining us and agreeing to be the first session over here.
A lot of people go tell me that I am your student. I tell them it's an historical accident that you were a student of mine by once upon a time. But in actual aspect of life, actual careers of life, you're far ahead of me in so many aspects. And therefore, there are so many people like that, including you, who only historically are a student, but in terms of actual achievements in life are far ahead of me. No, I take pride in that. I'm very happy with that.
I still continue to remain a student. It's not just been a fact.
That's the way it should be, that people should take forward. I take pride in the historical accident that so many people were once upon a time students of mine. That's wonderful for me, therefore, to feel happy about.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I thank KSCAA for giving us an opportunity of being back to the mentors. Thank you very much.
Thanks.